All right, now that we have our artwork in Character Animator, now it's time to go through and tag the layers so that Character Animator knows what to do with them. I'm in the rig panel here, and I've double clicked on my puppet Mohawk Man so that he's out here so I can see what's happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the layers and find the ones that I want to make sure have the right tags. So I'm going to start with his eyes. I'm going to go to the right eye and click on that layer group. And I'm going to go over to the properties panel over here and make sure that tags is opened up. And this right eye should be tagged as his eye. If it's not, or if it's the wrong eye, I can click on it to untag it, or I can come in here and click on the right part to tag it. So if his eye, we want to tag his eye like this. For his blink, we want to go to the blink layer and we need to click on this line that goes through the eyeball. And if you hover over it, it's going to say right blink. So we want to tag that. For his pupil, if you have the name pupil in the layer, it might tag it itself. We want to make sure it's tagged like this. And for the eyeball, it's kind of weird. It doesn't really make sense, but you want to make sure that this line is tagged. This pupil range is tagged. That tells the pupil how far it can move. So I'm going to go into the left eye and make sure that that's tagged, and it is. I'm going to go to blink, and that's not tagged, so I'm going to click there. I'm going to click on left pupil, and I'm going to click on left eyeball and make sure that's right. Now again, if anything isn't tagged right or your layers aren't showing up correctly, you can see when I click on left eye, it highlights this in blue. If that's not correct, you can always click back into Illustrator, make some changes, and then press save, and your changes will update in here. Now the next part that I want to do is I want to check my eyebrows. So my right eyebrow is already tagged right here. My left eyebrow is already tagged there. And I mean, you can go through and check, like his nose has been tagged. If you're doing a Nutcracker jaw, you want to click on the jaw layer and make sure that his mouth is not tagged like that. And you also want to scroll down and unclick this jaw layer right here. You want to unclick that. As we keep going, there's really nothing else I need to tag in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the record tab and I'm going to use the webcam and check and make sure that my Mohawk Man blinks and has his eyes working. So have your webcam plugged in. You can see here's my face over here. You want to get your face inside that circle. Drag your puppet out here to create a scene. Make sure that Mohawk Man or your character is armed for record. So it has to have a red dot here. And you want to get your face in this circle here. And you want to look right at your puppet like you're looking at him in the mirror. Press set rest pose. And now if you kind of tilt your head a little bit to the side, your character should tilt. If you look up, he should look up. If you look down, he should look down. All right, side to side. And I have a hard time getting the pupils to work with the camera, but I can tell they're looking because I can make them look up. Blink and make sure he blinks, and move your eyebrows around. Make sure that happens. Now, this is a good way to test your character, and if you want to, you can go into transform over here and actually change this scale a little bit bigger so you can see what's happening. And the bigger it is, you can kind of see that the pupils follow stuff around, and so does his face. But my character isn't talking, so the next thing we're going to do is set up his jaw. So we're going to go to rig. And the way this character was designed, he was designed to have a Nutcracker jaw, so his jaw is going to move up and down like this. Now, what I think is the easiest way for this to work is to take this origin handle for the jaw when you click on it and just kind of move it up a little bit, like up here. And what we want to do is click on the jaw layer, and in this little layers palette here where it says attach style, Nutcracker jaws seem to work better if you change this to free. So I'm going to change that to free, and I want his jaw to move up and down like this. So I'm going to draw essentially a jaw bone, and to draw a bone in Character Animator you're going to use the stick tool. And it says it should specify where the mesh shouldn't bend. So I'm going to draw a stick across basically where his lip is. And I'm going to tag that stick as his jaw, like this. So now I've tagged this stick as his jaw. I'm going to click on Mohawk Man over here, I'm actually just going to click off of the puppet and just in this gray background. And I'm going to go over to behaviors over here, and I'm going to add a Nutcracker jaw. Behaviors are like things that he can do. So I've added a Nutcracker jaw here. I'm going to go to record. I'm going to set my rest pose and open my mouth and make sure it works. And it does work, okay? But like when I'm talking right now, he doesn't open his mouth very wide. So I'm going to go into the behaviors and I'm going to adjust camera flappiness and make it go up a little bit more. So now his jaw opens and closes a little bit more. If his jaw moves too much, you can turn this way down and it'll be really hard for him to get his mouth open and closed. So that's how you can adjust his jaw. If you made a mistake, you can go to rig and you can change it in here. So again, if I made a mistake, I could go to jaw, I could change my tags, or I could check my behaviors over here. So that's how to set up the Nutcracker jaw and how to add tags to parts of your artwork.